بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة يا غريب يا شهيد كربلاء فيا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب صدق الله العلي العظيم. Illuminate your hearts and minds with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Samahat Sayyid al-Walid, respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The beauty of the religion of Islam is that it combines between the intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and subconscious dimensions of our existence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has manufactured us. He knows exactly how we operate. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala communicates to all of these dimensions. When you examine the teachings of the Quran and the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his family, you don't just find an intellectual dimension. The Quran is based on the intellect. But you find other amazing dimensions that we interact with. You find an emotional dimension. When you read the stories of the Quran, you see how beautifully Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elicits your emotions. You see a spiritual dimension. When the Quran speaks to you, you know you're not just made up of matter. You are a spiritual being with a higher purpose. When the Quran speaks to you, it speaks to your subconscious mind. Because the subconscious mind is one of the most important dimensions of your life and existence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to your subconscious mind. And tonight, we will be examining a unique dimension of the subconscious mind. This subconscious mind, although it's very critical and important, it can be protected, reprogrammed, and rewired. And in the month of Muharram, we have an excellent opportunity to rewire the subconscious mind. Through these programs, through the story of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, through these collective rituals, what you're actually doing is rewiring your subconscious mind And that is the greatest factor that leads you to success. That brings you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That brings you closer to the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So what is the subconscious mind? Let's briefly define it, and then let's see how you can access it, how you can rewire it. The subconscious mind is that area in your brain, in your mind, in your existence that stores your fears, your habits, your beliefs, your traumas. All of these are stored in your subconscious mind. Very important memories that affect you, they're buried deep in your subconscious mind. According to scientific studies, 95% of our behaviors stem from the subconscious mind. That means most of the decisions you're making, most of the actions you're taking, you're not consciously making them or taking them. That's all happening at a subconscious level. Many times we think we're actively and consciously making decisions, but that's not the case. 95% of it is based on your subconscious mind. You're not even actively aware that the subconscious is guiding your decisions, it's guiding your words and your actions. And the reason why the subconscious mind is determining most of your actions, it's because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given it an incredible capacity to receive information. Do you know how many bits of information per second your subconscious mind can take in? 20 million bits of information per second. That is fascinating. That's the beauty of the human brain, the human mind. What about your conscious mind? When you're actively thinking about something and you're aware of it, how much information can you take in per second? 40 bits of information per second when you're consciously thinking. Compare 40 to 20 million. Is there even a comparison? That's why the subconscious mind is so important. And what really influences you is what gets access to your subconscious mind. That's where the big companies and advertising platforms come in. When they're trying to advertise something for you, are they focusing on your subconscious mind or your conscious mind? They're trying to access your subconscious mind. Behind these ads, there's a lot of research. Millions of dollars are spent. All of that is aimed to get that logo, to get that product buried deep in your subconscious mind. And hence, for instance, if there's a football game, the Super Bowl, you're distracted, you're thinking about the game, you're with your friends, those companies are spending millions of dollars per minute, or I don't know, per second, to give you those ads. Why? Because when you're not consciously focused on something, your mind is preoccupied with something else, you give a lot of access to your subconscious mind. So when you see those ads, they get buried deep in your mind. That's how the world of advertising works. That's exactly what they're doing. They don't care whether you're consciously right now thinking about the ad. They want that logo imprinted in your subconscious mind. Because then, the decisions that you're going to make when you want to buy something, that image, that logo is stored in your subconscious mind. And without you even knowing it, it will get you to buy it. It will get you to sign up for their services. That is the power of the subconscious mind, my dear brothers and sisters. And you find that the religion of Islam is heavily based on developing the subconscious mind, guiding the subconscious mind, protecting it from outside influences. And everything that you need for success, Allah has stored it in your subconscious mind. All you have to do in this life is protect it. as Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam beautifully describes in Nahj al-Balagha, he says, you know what the role of prophets is? Not necessarily to bring you new information. They do give you a lot of new information. But their main goal is not that. What is their main goal? The Imam beautifully states, لِيُثِيرُوا لَهُمْ دَفَائِنَ الْعُقُولِ. The role of prophets is to provoke, unearth what's buried deep in your subconscious mind. Because Allah has instilled His ma'rifah in your mind. In your subconscious mind, you know you have a creator. Allah has given you a built-in compass to know right from wrong. But you have to protect it and develop it. That's what prophets do. They come to train you to access that part of your subconscious mind to guide you throughout your life's challenges. So this is the subconscious mind. Now here's the question. How can we access it? Are there some hacks, some tips to access the subconscious mind so that you can protect the good that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has stored in it? And for you to rewire it, reprogram it. It's possible. Even if you're older, you can reprogram your mind. It's definitely possible. You just need to know how your brain functions and how external factors influence it and what gives access to your subconscious mind. So tonight I will be discussing with you something that's very interesting from a scientific perspective, and it truly allows us to appreciate the religion of Islam on another level. One powerful way to access your subconscious mind is through what is called theta waves. See, your brain basically is operating on a number of electrical currents. Yeah, there's electricity in your brain. Now it's not a strong current that's going to electrocute you, but when your neurons are firing up in your brain, that's electrical activity in your brain. You've got all these different waves in your mind, in your brain, and they all serve a function. One of those waves, one of those electric patterns that you see in your brain is called theta waves. They operate on 4 to 8 hertz. Now what's interesting about these theta waves is that they're deeply linked to learning, deep learning. They're linked to memories. They're linked to beliefs and emotions. All of these dimensions in your mind are linked to these theta waves. And what scientists have discovered that children, especially under the age of 7, their brain mainly operates on theta waves. Because there are natural states when your brain operates on that. For instance, when you're in a deep meditative state, you've got all these theta waves active in your brain. During moments when your emotions are heightened, intense emotional experiences, you have theta waves in your brain. These are natural states. Early when you sleep, when you're about to fall asleep, or you just fell asleep, you find that these waves are active. Now what's interesting about children is that under the age of 7, you find these electric currents very active in their brain. And that is why children are so easy to program. If you want to program someone who's 40 years old, it's quite difficult. They have their ways. Their mind is not really ready to rewiring and reprogramming. But not a child. Have you seen a little child? A 5-year-old, a 3-year-old? They literally are like sponges, accepting what you tell them. You can mold children very easily. The science behind it is those theta waves. They're active most of the time. So you can reach their subconscious mind and reprogram it. And hence you find the religion of Islam placing great emphasis on children. Under 7, if you really want to raise good children, brothers and sisters, respected parents, the real work has to be done before the age of 7. That's when you can build the subconscious mind of your children. That's when you can instill the beautiful moral values of Islam in them. After that, if you've given them a proper upbringing, they're fine. Their subconscious mind will guide them if you've done your part. Hence we find in a beautiful hadith from Al-Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam, he states, when your children reach 3 years of age, 3, teach them to say La ilaha illallah. Teach them that they have a creator. Let them be familiar with the word Allah, that there is one God, that Allah loves us, He created us. Teach your children to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This starts at the age of 3 because now the brain is fully developing. Children at that age, they're speaking full sentences, they're thinking in abstract terms. That's the perfect time to start. Some of us start when they're 10, 15. It's too late. Then the Imam alayhi salam states, at age 3, 7 months and 20 days. I don't know what the secret is about this particular age, but that's what the hadith states. When your child is about 3 years and 7 months old, teach them to say Muhammadun Rasulullah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Now teach your child who their heroes are, who the Prophet is, why is he important. Let your child grow up with the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's all protecting the subconscious mind and developing it. And then the Imam alayhi salam states, at age 4, teach them the love of Ahlul Bayt. Now here's the core foundation, the beliefs. Between 3 and 4, you have to establish the foundational belief systems in the subconscious mind of your child. After that, at ages 5, 6, and 7, come the practices. Hence you find the Imams of Ahlul Bayt, they tell us, teach your children, discipline them, let them pray. If they're 6 or 7, let them pray. Let them appreciate salah. Let them understand the significance of salah. The subconscious mind is extremely receptive during these moments. And that's when parents have to do their best. These are the critical years. But I tell you, these days, my dear brothers and sisters, our children, they spend these precious years, most of it away from parents. Most of it. They're as young as 3 when they're now developing, and you have the opportunity to build their subconscious mind. We take them to daycare. We take them to preschool. You know, I remember back in the day when I was going to school, 30 years ago, you were 7 when you would go to first grade. Okay, maybe 6 sometimes. They would make an exception for you. These days, when do children start going to school? It was 7 and then it became 6. We invented something called kindergarten. Didn't always exist. School started with first grade back then. Then we invented this new grade called kindergarten. And then that wasn't enough. No, we wanted to get rid of our children, just get them out of the house earlier. So we invented preschool. And then was that enough? No, there's preschool. Kids as young as 3, we're sending them to school. I think in the next decade, we're going to invent something when kids are born, straight from the hospital to the school. That's the trajectory. We're not spending time with our children. Dad is busy, he's at work, he's working 8 hours a day. Mom is busy, she's working full time. We spend our most energetic moments outside the school, outside the house. And then at 3, at 4, we're back home. Nobody has energy for each other, no one. The dad is exhausted. The mom's exhausted. Can't blame her, she's been working 8 hours. The kids are exhausted too. They've went to 6, 7 hours of school. And you know, back in the day when my generation was going to school, school was 4 hours, 5 hours. Then it got longer, 6 hours, then 7 hours, then 8 hours. So we come back at home at 4 p.m., no one has energy. I've spent my most precious moments outside the house. We go back, and that's why you see we fight with each other. We don't spend quality time with each other. And then when you come home, you think you can sit with your family? Haram, mom's running right now to do the house chores, to cook. Dad has to take care of some business. The children have homework. They still have homework to do. When are you going to sit with your child and work on them and have a quality relationship? When? The religion of Islam teaches you children before 7, that's the golden time to work with them. Spend most of your time with your children. So we find scientific studies focusing on theta waves, revealing that children under 7, they're very active. Their brain is very active with theta waves. That's why they're so receptive. That's why they accept what you tell them and how you guide them. So here's now the fundamental point. Are we able to access the theta waves in our brain? So we know there are natural states like early sleep, deep meditation, heightened emotions. But what can we practically do in order to safeguard our subconscious mind? And in order for us to create theta patterns in our brain? I will share with you some practical steps, and we'll see how the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and the message of Muharram fits in here. One very important aspect of creating theta waves in your brain and safeguarding your subconscious mind is purposeful repetition. Many of us don't understand why the religion of Islam is based on repetitive acts of worship or routines. Many people say, why do I pray 5 times a day? Say it. It's the same salah every single day. Come on, how is that going to help me? The same dua we read every single day. Morning dua, afternoon dua, evening dua. Same duas in the month of Ramadan. Same Muharram programs every year. We're just wasting time. I've heard this from a lot of people. I believe this is a waste of time. Every single day, do the same exact prayer? What are we, robots? Yeah, that's sometimes what we think. But subhanallah, if you know what this repetition is doing to your subconscious mind, you would be amazed at the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people object to the Quran. Why does the Quran have repetition? We find stories, even though each story is presented with different details in the Quran, but the story itself is repeated. The story of Musa alayhi salam. How many times is it repeated in the Quran? In Surah Al-Rahman, how many times is this verse repeated? فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ? Which of the signs of Allah are you going to reject? This is repeated many, many times. Some people object. Why do we find repetition in the Quran? Here's the role of repetition. Purposeful repetition has an amazing impact in protecting your subconscious mind from outside factors that cause you to deviate. And if you doubt that, simply look at the world of advertising, as we mentioned. Have you ever heard an economist, someone who specializes in marketing, ridiculing and mocking companies for ads that seem repetitive? Have you ever heard that? Have you heard an economist go to Coca-Cola and say, what are you doing? The last 50 years, all you do is you're advertising for this logo. Yalla, we got it. Khalas, bas. This is repetition. You killed us with these ads and the same logo that you've been advertising. Have you heard an economist object this way? That's exactly how it works. Repetition, repetition, repetition. You give them access to your subconscious mind, they become billionaires. They make billions out of us through repetition. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is safeguarding your subconscious mind. When you pray 5 times a day effectively, you are safeguarding your subconscious mind. Because the minute you wake up and you step into the outside world, you're bombarded with all these different messages and ads. You open your phone, you go on a website, there's ads. You want to watch a YouTube video, you get bombarded with ads, billboards, all these different types of messages. And a lot of these messages are not positive messages. A lot of them are aimed at distracting you and taking you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How are you safeguarding yourself? Do you have a plan? Do you have a strategy? Salah is your strategy. When you refocus and recalibrate 5 times a day, when you start your day with morning du'as, with these beautiful rituals, that's exactly how you're safeguarding yourself from all these outside factors. Appreciate the salah. Salah is aimed at protecting you. Allah doesn't need my prayer. Allah doesn't need anyone's prayer. Prayer is that daily routine that's aimed at protecting you, protecting your spirit, protecting the purity of your subconscious mind. Let's show appreciation. Yes, there is repetition, but it's exactly this repetition that's saving you. So we find that when it comes to accessing your subconscious mind and operating on theta waves, what's extremely important and critical is repetition. Let's appreciate the rituals that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us in the religion of Islam. Number 2, at what times can we best access the subconscious mind? Because the brain is now naturally operating on theta waves. Scientists have revealed that one of the best moments when your brain is fully operating in theta is 10 minutes up to 10 minutes after you wake up in the morning. These 10 minutes after you wake up are extremely beneficial and important in accessing your subconscious mind. What do we do these days? You know these days what our habits are? You wake up in the morning, the first thing you do, you reach out to your phone. You go on TikTok. You look for the latest tea on somebody miskeen. You check what's happening in your WhatsApp groups. That is the most destructive way to start your day, brothers and sisters. Those 10 minutes after you wake up, when your brain is still operating in theta, that is the moment when you rewire your subconscious mind. And hence you find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mandated on us to pray Salat al-Fajr in the morning. Because in those 10 minutes, you're connecting with Allah. It's quiet meditation between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you yourselves have experienced it. The day you wake up in the morning for Fajr and you concentrate for 2 minutes on your Salah, you feel better that day. You feel stronger that day. You feel more powerful in the face of sins and temptation that day. And the day when you skip Salah, how do you feel? Most of you, how do you feel? There's science behind that. When you wake up, until 10 minutes after, that's the prime time to rewire your subconscious. That's the best time for you to engage in meditation, because deep meditation allows you to rewire your subconscious mind. And scientists have told us that meditation that comes with breathing exercises are extremely beneficial in giving you that sense of calmness and allowing you to reprogram yourself. If you're struggling with habits that you want to get rid of, how do you do that? I know there's therapy, there's rehab. We've got many ways. One powerful way is in the morning, where you meditate between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You do heavy breathing exercises that gives you the power to stop any addiction that you want. Try it. This is proven by science. And subhanAllah, everything the scientists are discovering, we have in the religion of Islam. We just have different labels for it. When scientists tell you that breathing exercises help you with your subconscious mind, you know the dhikr that we have, it's actually a type of breathing exercise. Try it right now. Say, Subhanallahi, walhamdulillahi, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. That's a breathing exercise. You're saying dhikr, you're remembering Allah, but at the same time, it's a breathing exercise. You're getting the benefit of both. In fact, in some of our du'as, you are recommended to take a deep breath and mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until you finish your breath. Dua Abu Hamza, there's a passage where you say, Ya Rabbi, The instructions are from the Imam alayhi salam in the dua is to say Ya Rabbi until you lose your breath. Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi. Keep saying it until your breath finishes. That is a powerful breathing exercise of deep meditation from a scientific perspective. That does wonders to your soul. Do it in the morning, try it. You're struggling with a habit. You're going through difficult life challenges. Wake up in the morning and do this for 5 minutes. Say Ya Rabbi until you're out of breath. You'll see the power of spirituality that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala infuses you with. So right after you wake up in the morning, your brain is operating on theta waves. You want to reprogram yourself, rewire your mind? That's the perfect time. Start your day by thanking Allah. If you're going through difficulties in your life, keep saying, Inna ma'al usri yusra. With difficulty comes ease. Say it to yourself. Hear yourself saying it. You'll have a better day. You'll find more strength on that day. And the second time, natural time, when your brain returns to theta is when you're about to fall asleep. And again, these days, how do we fall asleep? You know, if you look at our sleep habits and how we fall asleep, we hug our phones and we fall asleep on our phones. There's a reason Apple has made the charger, the wire, the cord only 3 feet long, right? I know it frustrates a lot of us. We want a very long one so we can charge it and hold it in our beds and sleep on the phone. There's a reason. You're not supposed to have your phone in your bed and you're charging it. And if you want to do yourself a favor, my dear brothers and sisters, the best thing you can do, try it. You'll have peace of mind. Before you go to bed, take your phone and put it all the way across in another corner of the room. Or preferably even in another room. You need the alarm? It's okay. Just buy those alarm clocks. They're much better and much more effective. These days, that's how people are sleeping. The wife, she's on her phone. The husband, a meter apart, 3 feet apart. He's almost falling on the edge of the bed because of the wire. It's not reaching. And he's checking his phone and we sleep on that. Is that the life that we want for ourselves, my dear brothers and sisters? These are special moments. These are special moments when your brain is going back to theta state. And hence you find Islam telling you before you fall asleep, just say one surah, one Qul Huwallah. Say it 3 times, it's like you've completed the Quran. Say a dhikr, recite a few verses. Say something nice to your spouse. Reflect on your day. That's meditation, purposeful meditation. Before you sleep, evaluate your day. What did you do right? What did you do wrong? How can I improve my day? That's a powerful way to access the subconscious mind, my dear brothers and sisters. Today in our society, we are presented many different secular alternatives to the religious alternative. Today, what's society telling you? You don't need your religion. You don't need organized religion. You don't need Islam and Quran to be spiritual. We've got other ways to make you spiritual. Well, tfaddal, how do you want it to make me spiritual? Like one young man, he came and he told me, Sayyid, the other day, I went to this yoga class and it was the most spiritual moment in my life. I'm like, really? SubhanAllah, can you tell me about that class? What happened? You know what goes on in some of these yoga classes? Maybe some of you have been there. Maybe your friends have been there. A lot of these yoga classes, what goes on in them is exactly the opposite of what spirituality is. You've got a mixed setting, men and women. And some of them, they dressed very, very immodestly, right? And some of those yoga sessions, they come with the tightest clothes that they can get their hands on. You've got the music on. You've got different types of dances. You're telling me this is spirituality? SubhanAllah. This is shaitan at the end of times. Making you think that this is spiritual. No, I felt very spiritual. They are giving you all these secular alternatives so we stay away from religion. Now when it comes to yoga, my dear brothers and sisters, there are different dimensions of yoga. You've got the physical exercises, the back exercises, breathing exercises, that's fine. I'm not here to criticize that. But the other dimensions that come with these yoga moves, yoga sessions, yoga types of meditation, we as Muslims, we need to be very careful, my dear brothers and sisters. You find that many of these yoga positions, if you look at the history of how they evolved from Buddhist practices. And so the positions that you find in these sessions, they are aimed at pointing to their gods. That's the origin of it. Do you really, as a Muslim, want to engage in practices that are glorifying historically these gods that other faiths believe in? As a Muslim, am I justified to do that? That's not spirituality, brothers and sisters. Islamically, we are critical of these practices. If you want spirituality, only Allah knows what's good for your soul. We don't. Yes, we can examine the tangible world. We go to the lab, we do experiments, we can see what works or not. But the soul, you cannot experiment on your soul. When people ask the Prophet ﷺ to tell them about the soul, what did the Quran say? وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. They ask you about the soul, tell them, look, this is not your domain. This is from the dominion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't try to experiment in the world of spirituality, because you'll end up hurting yourself in the process. Anything that has to do with spirituality, go to Quran and Ahlul Bayt, and only Quran and Ahlul Bayt. If there is anything that's beneficial for your spirituality, Allah would have mentioned it. Allah would have prescribed it. We don't need to go to all these alternative methods. Meditation, Islam is built on meditation. Just do it properly. Some of these people who go to these practices, I tell them, have you ever done the sujood of Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam? Have you ever done these practices? The dhikr in the morning? Have you done that? And it didn't work, and now you have to go to these yoga sessions? Everything that we need for our subconscious mind, for our spirituality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed it for us, my dear brothers and sisters. And here comes the role of the month of Muharram and the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. When you gather in the month of Muharram and you are reflecting on the message of Imam Hussein, and emotions are high when we recollect the tragedies that happened to the family of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, you are now all collectively in theta state. That's why these majalis are so transformative, my dear brothers and sisters. How many people I personally know whose lives changed because of the majlis of Imam Hussein? Because of one tear that you shed on Imam al-Hussein, that tear purified your heart and took you closer to his cause and his message. That's because in these theta moments, you are rewiring your subconscious mind, just like the companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam did. Al-Hur, he was a high-ranking officer who was programmed to take orders. Karbala showed him how to break from that. On the day of Ashura, Al-Hur was able to rewire himself. He heard the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Okay, I'm programmed to take orders. That's what an officer does. The governor gives you orders. Ibn Ziyad tells you to do this, you do it. But Al-Hur was able to challenge himself. Al-Hur was able to rewire his mind within minutes on the day of Ashura, because he heard the message of Imam Hussein. He saw himself between heaven and hell. Muharram is that theta moment for you, brothers and sisters, when you are struggling with addictions, with bad habits, with being toxic. Visualize Al-Hur. See heaven and hell from this dunya, my dear brothers and sisters. You can feel it. Through your spirituality, you can feel it. That's what Imam Ali alayhi salam says in Nahj al-Balagha. When he describes the pious ones, the muttaqeen and khutbat al-muttaqeen, the sermon of the pious, what does he say? فَهُمْ وَالْجَنَّةُ كَمَنْ قَدْ رَآهَا فَهُمْ فِيهَا مُنَعَّمُونَ. The pious ones, they visualize heaven. They can feel the presence of heaven. When they do a good deed, they feel the good deed pulling them towards heaven. And then on the other side, what do you have? وَهُمْ وَالنَّارِ كَمَنْ قَدْ رَآهَا فَهُمْ فِيهَا مُعَذَّبُونَ. The pious ones, it's almost like they can see hell. When they're about to sin, they can spiritually feel the heat of the fire of hell. That's powerful. That's what Muharram does. It puts you on that path of Al-Hur. Do you want to go on this side or that side? Al-Hur was able to rewire his pride, his strength as a high-ranking officer, to guilt, to submission to the Imam of his time. And we can do the same. Through these Muharram programs, you can rewire that. We all have this pride in us. It's hard to submit to the truth, but Muharram teaches you to submit to the truth. Humble yourself to the truth. If you violated others, apologize. Be strong and feel the sense of guilt and fix it. And you have these beautiful examples. Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam, he's a prime example of how you can turn your trauma and victimization into amazing spiritual power to do good. Sometimes when you get victimized, some of you may be victimized in your life. Maybe you've gone through trauma. Normally what happens is we get stuck in our trauma. I feel victimized, I get depressed, I start hating people around me because in my childhood maybe a person was abused, maybe you went through a difficult life trial. Come to Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam. Who was traumatized like him? He witnessed all those tragic incidents in Karbala. Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam is the Imam who was traumatized most in his life. It took a toll on him. At the end of the day, he's a human being. He has emotions. But Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam teaches you to rewire yourself. Take that trauma and turn it into spirituality, into dua, into serving others, raising others, helping those who are vulnerable and weak. And that's what he did throughout his life. Slaves who had no value in that society, the Imam alayhi salam, he would take them in his care, he would educate them, and then he would free them. According to some narrations, the Imam alayhi salam took care of thousands of slaves, empowered them and dispatched them. The Imam didn't sit in his house and say, oh, I've been traumatized. Karbala destroyed me, that's it. I can't do anything. He used that trauma into a powerful type of fuel to do good. And today, brothers and sisters, if you see very successful people in the community, if you see very successful people at the global stage, if you go and read about their personal lives, you'll find that many of them, they went through trauma and abuse. But they were able to overcome it. They used that experience into positive fuel to do good. And they made a difference. That's what Karbala is all about. Reprogram your mind, rewire yourself. You've gone through difficulty, use that as energy to be better and to save others. That's the core message of Al-Imam Al-Hussein alayhi salam. That's why this message continues to attract us for 1,400 years. Now when you come to one of the warriors of Karbala, who you find was so solid in protecting his spirit, in protecting his subconscious mind, was Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. Al-Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam gives us a very beautiful description of Abbas. Rahimallahu amman al-Abbas. May Allah have mercy on al-Abbas. Whenever Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam would see the children of al-Abbas, he would break into tears. His children, his grandchildren. He had some grandchildren who survived him. When they would see the progeny of Abbas, they would break into tears and they would praise him. Al-Imam al-Sadiq has a very beautiful statement describing the inner strength of Al-Abbas. كَانَ عَمُّنَا الْعَبَّاسِ نَافِذَ الْبَصِيرَةِ. Our uncle Abbas, he had sharp inner vision. صَلِبَ الْإِيمَانِ. He had solid faith. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, throughout his life, he had prepared himself for that moment. But he also went through a trial. You know, right before Ashura, Shimr ibn Dhil Jawshan, this evil enemy who killed Imam Hussein, He was related to the mother of Al-Abbas. He was related to al-Bani because they came from the Bani Kilab tribe. So you know what he does? He comes, he calls on Al-Abbas. Al-Abbas doesn't want to respond to him. Someone so filthy like Shimr, Imam Hussein tells him it's okay. Respond to him, see what he wants, go and see what he wants. He goes, he tells him, what do you want, Shimr? He tells him, I have brought you amnesty, you and your brothers. Leave Hussein, I have amnesty, protection for you. We won't do anything to you. We're not here to harm you. We just want Hussein. Imagine what happened to Al-Abbas. Abbas lived his entire life for these moments. And now he has to hear these difficult words that you give me amnesty but not my brother Hussein. He's outraged. He tells him, may Allah curse you and curse your amnesty. لَعَنَكَ اللَّهُ وَلَعَنَ أَمَانَكَ. You give me amnesty and protection. And the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, he has no amnesty, he has no protection. But this is Abbas. He's prepared himself for that day. He's protected his subconscious mind from such an influence, because if it was another man, maybe he would be influenced. Why do I need to die? I have a family to take care of. I have a family to feed. I have children. I have a wife. You think it's easy? When we read these stories, my dear brothers and sisters, we think these were very convenient stances that they took in Karbala. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. When you're tested with your family, it's very difficult. But this is Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. That warrior who had protected himself and his iman to protect the imam of his time on the day of Ashura. But now we come to the day of Ashura. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam sees the death toll rising. The companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, one by one falling to the ground. Then he sees his relatives, the members of Bani Hashim, one by one falling to the ground. Ali Akbar has been killed and he's dismembered. He's cut into pieces. Al-Qasim has fallen. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, at this point, he was the only warrior left. He couldn't take this anymore. He kept feeling more and more the loneliness of his master Hussein. According to a report narrated by Al-Allama Al-Majlisi, he says Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas could not take this anymore. He goes to his brother Hussein, to his imam. He tells him, أخي لقد سئمت الحياة وضاق صدري من هؤلاء الأعداء. My dear brother, I don't want to live anymore. I'm tired with this dunya that's making these children cry. He would hear them say, Al-Atash, Al-Atash, we are thirsty, we are thirsty. How much can your heart handle? Aba Abdullah, please give me permission to go and fight in the battlefield. Please, I beg you, let me go and fight. I can't take this anymore. The Imam alayhi salam, it's very difficult to let his brother go. He's the only one who remained. He tells him, Akhi, anta sahibu liwa'i. إن إذا أنت قتلت تفرق عسكري. My dear brother, I only have you left. You are the commander of my army. You're carrying my banner. If you're killed, who do I have after you? My army is gone. But Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas keeps insisting. Finally, Imam Hussein gives in. He tells him, okay, if you must go, then go and try to bring some water for these children who are saying, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. Go and get some water if you can. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam, he mounts on his horse. He charges straight to the Euphrates River. There were 4,000 men standing on the banks of the river guarding it. But this is Abbas. This is the son of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Al-Abbas alayhi salam, he heads to the river with his courage. He manages to make them disperse from around the banks of the river. He manages to reach the river of Furat. It's been 2-3 days, he's not had any water. He's extremely thirsty. It's extremely hot. He goes inside the water. He feels the coolness of the water of Furat. He puts his blessed hand in the river. He takes a handful. He draws it near his lips. But then he remembers the thirst of Hussein. He tells himself, how can I drink when my brother Hussein is thirsty? How can I do that? Allahu Akbar. That's loyalty, that's iman, that's sacrifice. Ya nafsu min ba'd al-Husayn huni wa ba'dahu la kunti an takuni. هذا حسين وارد المنون وتشربين بارد المعين تالله ما هذا فعال ديني. O self, O soul, humble yourself. You dare drink the cold water, the cool water, when your brother Hussein is thirsty? La wallah, this is not what Islam teaches me. He spills the water, he refuses to drink. Allahu Akbar, Allah wants him to have the same fate of Imam Hussein. But then he had a jug of water, he fills it. Now Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, he had one goal at this point. There's one goal left in his life right now. Get the water to those children who are dying from thirst. He mounts on his horse, he tries to go back to the tent. They realize if he brings water to Hussein and those children, that will rejuvenate them. Umar ibn Sa'ad says, do what you can to cut him off. Do not let Abbas go back to the tent. They surround him from every direction. There were palm trees in the area. Al-Abbas is racing towards the tent. He has one goal, get the water to the children. But then one of those enemies, he lurks and hides behind the palm tree. When Al-Abbas passes by the palm tree, he strikes the right arm of Al-Abbas. Ya Allah! He loses his right arm. He begins to say, Wallahi in qata'tumu yamini inni uhami abadan an dini. By Allah, if you cut my right hand, this is not going to stop me from defending my religion. I'm not going to stop. وعن إمام صادق اليقين نجل النبي الطاهر الأمين. But Al-Abbas still has hope. He carries his sword in his left hand and he carries the jug of water with his teeth. He's still saying, I might be able to make it. I might go to the tents. Maybe I can get these children some water. He's going, but then another enemy. He hides behind another palm tree. As Al-Abbas is passing, he charges at him. He strikes his left arm. He loses both arms now. يا نفس لا تخشي من الكفار وأبشري برحمة الجبار قد قطعوا ببغيهم يساري فأصلهم يا ربي حر النار. Oh Allah, I've lost my left hand now. What is he going to do? But oh believers, he still had hope. He was carrying the jug of water with his teeth. Maybe I can still make it. But now he's still going. He doesn't have two hands, but he's still trying to have his horse go towards the tent. Oh believers, the real tragedy for Abbas comes now. one of those enemies, he takes out an arrow, he targets the water sack, the water jug, he shoots the jug of water, the water spills. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas loses hope. Now what am I going to do? I promised I would try to get some water. Some reports indicate he stopped. Before that, he was trying to make his way to the tent. But when the water jug spilled, he stopped. He couldn't proceed any more forward. What's the point of going back to the tents of Imam Hussein? So Imam Hussein and Zainab can see him without two hands. He's confused. He doesn't know where to go, what to do. As he was standing there, mutahayyiran, not knowing what to do, one of those enemies, he takes an iron rod, he takes a pole, he strikes him on his head. And there was an arrow that had just landed in his eye. Aywa Abbasa, Aywa Madluma. I want you to now visualize one heartbreaking scene. You have a horseman riding his horse. He doesn't have two hands. When you fall off your horse, you have two hands to take the impact. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, when he was struck on his head, he fell off the horse. But you know how he fell? He fell on his face with an arrow in his eye. Aywa Abbasa, Aywa Madluma. But he realized this was over when he fell to the ground. Akhi, alayka minni salam. He sends his salam to Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein alayhi salam rushes to come to see Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas in his final moment. Those who were observing Imam Hussein, they say, we saw him approach the body of Abbas. What did he see? He saw a body without two arms. He saw a smashed head on the ground. He saw an arrow in one of his eyes. The reporter said, when Imam Hussein saw that, he could not stand straight. He could not walk upright. He would walk with his back bent. He approached the body of Abbas. الآن انكسر ظهري وقلت حيلتي. My dear brother, now my back has been broken. I've lost my energy now. They took their revenge from me now, Ya Abbas. One report says Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he sat next to head of Abbas, but his one eye, there was an arrow in it. The other eye, blood covered it. He couldn't see, he couldn't hear properly. He's breathing his final moments. One report says Imam Hussein sat next to his head. He tried to carry his head and he tried to put his head in his lap. But Al-Abbas refused. He would remove his head from the lap of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein would tell him, Akhi, why do you do that? I'm your brother Hussein. I want to put your head in my lap. He tells him, my brother, in an hour or so, when they martyr you, there will be no one to put your head in his lap. I want to die like you, O Abu Abdullah. According to another report, he tells Imam Hussein, Abu Abdullah, I have a request. Please keep me here by the river. Don't take me to the tent. Why, O Abu al-Fadl? He says, I promised Sukaina I would get her some water. I couldn't. And I don't want Zainab to see me in this state. Abu Abdullah, keep me here. Don't take me to the tent. The family of Imam Hussein knew Abu al-Fadl was gone. He was in danger and Imam Hussein went after him. But they didn't know what happened. They were waiting for the news. Zainab is watching. She wants word on Al-Abbas's fate. What happened to him? You know what Zainab saw? Imam Hussein didn't have the heart to directly tell her. You know what he did? And Zainab found out. He went to the tent of Al-Abbas and he struck the tent down. Zainab and the woman, they saw the tent of Al-Abbas collapse on the ground. That's when they yelled, Wa Abbas, Aywa Akha. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
Everyone please stand in honor of the flag bearer of Imam Hussein. Ya Abbas, 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 Ya Abbas. Everyone together. Ya Abbas, 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 Ya Abbas. Everyone. Ya Abbas. Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas. Ya Abbas, the fearless son of Ali, the fearless son of Ali, you are my gem in the sea. My brother, please don't leave me. Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, the fearless son of Ali, you are my gem in the sea. My brother, please don't leave me. Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, if you leave me, Abbas, my back will be broken. If you leave me, Abbas, my back will be broken. Who said we are thirsty? You are the real ocean. If you leave me, Abbas, my back will be broken. Who said we are thirsty? You are the real ocean. When you leave, my pain will start, brother. Don't leave and don't break my heart, brother. Don't leave and don't break my heart, brother. Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, the youth, Ya Abbas. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas. Ya Abbas, the ones who killed you are cursed. The ones who killed you are cursed. You were dying from your thirst. The ones who killed you are cursed. You were dying from your thirst. But why didn't you drink first? Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, my eyes started to rain, my heart began to pound. My eyes started to rain, my heart began to pound when you fell on your face with no hands on the ground. My eyes started to rain, my heart began to pound when you fell on your face with no hands on the ground. If you leave, my heart will die, brother. If you leave, my heart will die, brother. All of the angels will cry, brother. All of the angels will cry, brother. If you leave, my heart will die, brother. All of the angels will die, brother. All of the angels will cry, brother. Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas. Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas. Everyone, Ya Abbas. Can you hear me? Hold my hand. Your blood covered all the land. I wish I could help you stand. Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas. Your eyes are filled with blood. What do you see, brother? Your eyes are filled with blood. What do you see, brother? Now who will hold my flag if you leave me, brother? Hold my hand tight and return, brother, or else all my tents will burn, brother, or else all my tents will burn, brother. The flag bearer of Ali, you are my gem in the sea. My brother, please don't leave me. Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, 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 Hussein, 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 sallallahu alayka ya madloom ya Aba Abdullah. Let's recite the dua al-faraj together. Allahumma kun liwaliyik al-hujjat ibn al-Hasan salawatuka alayhi wa ala في هذه الساعة وفي كل الساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا أرضك تهوى وتمته فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.